Hello, I'm Katherine G. McRae, and you're watching the Be Your Own Superhero Success Series. Today I'm at the Red Cross in Sault Ste. Marie with Jenny McDonald, and Jenny is the Emergency Management Coordinator. Thank you for having us here today, Jenny.
Thank you for coming.
Can you explain a little bit about what the Red Cross does, as I know that they're involved in, they have a very big purview that they look after.
Yes, so we are the Canadian Red Cross, so we have national programs and programs that are in each of the communities. Our mission statement is to improve the lives of the vulnerable people by mobilizing the power of humanity in Canada and around the world. So we have several programs that are geared for seniors. Seniors are a vulnerable population. So in order to keep their independence and their dignity and their well-being, we have programs like transportation, which volunteers provide rides for seniors. We have a program called Friendly Visiting, where volunteers will visit people in their homes, keeping them safe. And then we have Telephone Assurance, and again, that's a program that has saved lives, where volunteers have called and checked on individuals and making sure they're safe, keeping them from falling and being able to call 911. And again, that saved lives. We have a program called Assisted Living, which allows people again to stay in their homes as long as possible, but receive 24-hour care by community support workers. And then we have a program called Home Help, and those are PSWs that go in the home and provide essential services. And the last vulnerable population is those affected by disasters. And we see an ongoing trend in more disasters, more frequent and greater devastation. So we have volunteers that provide that service 24/7.
So phenomenally important. Also training. You do training as well.
Yes. Yes, so anybody that comes on board, whether they're staff or they're volunteers, they're trained for their specific role. There's ongoing training and policies and things that will protect the volunteer, protect the client, and protect the organization.
So a lot going on. I was even very impressed myself to discover how much more the Red Cross does with all the various programs that one can get involved with. And the volunteers are key with the program.
Yeah. Yep, so many of the programs that I mentioned, transportation, friendly visiting, telephone assurance, and the program of emergency management, they are completely volunteer driven. So if it wasn't for volunteers, those individuals in the community that are left without vehicles or they have chronic illnesses where they're having to rely on support services, they would have to be moved to long-term care if it wasn't for organizations like the Red Cross that can provide those essential services.
Wow, very important.
Yes.
To be able to keep someone in their home for as long as possible. I was also really surprised to see the telephone assurance program rather. So there's lots of various opportunity for volunteers to get involved.
Anybody who's interested can always come into the office. But we ask them to go to www.redcross.ca and look at the volunteer opportunities in our own community. And again, we're always looking at volunteer resource is something that's continually revolving, right? People come, they stay. Some people stay for years. Some people come build their resume. Other people come to meet people. So for whatever reason, there is another opportunity as well. They can come and help in the office and in an administrative role. And we have students as well that come in. And
so they can get some real life experience that way that they can put on the resume from volunteering here. And as well, you do CPR and first aid training and that sort of thing as well?
The Red Cross as a whole has that program, but we have gone to a different model. So we don't offer it in the community in our office, but there is Algoma training run by Brenda Roy, and she provides Red Cross first aid and CPR training on an ongoing basis.
So lots to do if one is interested in volunteering. There's so many programs that you offer. You can gear it towards the person's specific interest.
Yes. Yep.
And what about the volunteer hours that you've seen here in the Sault Ste. Marie Red Cross?
If you look at the senior service programs, like I said, some volunteers, we have a volunteer, Doug, he would volunteer every day, all day long. And if you look out in our parking lot, we have some agency vehicles. So he's retired and he loves to give back. But there's other people that may be still working, they're students, so they give what they can give, and we make it suit their needs. and we can utilize them. So if it's friendly visiting or telephone assurance, it's an hour a week. And then with the emergency management program, that's a program where the volunteers are on call 24/7. So they work in teams, and if there is a fire, the fire department calls us out and they will respond, whether it's in the daytime, in the evening, or on the weekend, and help assess those individuals to meet their needs.
Wow, so lots of opportunity in all different areas and various time commitments, really whatever the individual is willing to
That's right.
provide
Yeah.
to the Red Cross. Fantastic. So with the opportunities in emergency management, can you talk a little bit about what that would involve?
There's two parts. So we have the local involvement, which is personal disaster assistance, and that's what I mentioned. The municipality will contract us out to provide that service. It's a 24-hour service for individuals affected by disaster, but it's only up to 72 hours. So after the 72-hour mark, the individuals have to kind of implement their own emergency plan. So that's for local involvement. The other one is ERT, which is Emergency Response Team, and those individuals are the ones that deploy anywhere across Canada. So we've had people go to the BC fires and to Fort Mac and to the Ottawa floods, and always every year to the James Bay coast where it's floods up there. So those are the two parts. So you say to yourself, do I want to be locally involved, or do I want to, and am I able to deploy? So the deployment part is a minimum of 10-day deployment.
Oh.
So there's kind of eligibility criteria for that.
Right. I imagine you would have to be in good health or
Yes.
reasonably fit to
Yes.
do those deployments
Yeah.
as well. So there's a lot of opportunity
Yep.
locally or beyond
Yep.
as well with the Red Cross. So if one wants to get started, they would go to the website. That's the first place you would go.
Yes.
You could
Yep.
look at the various opportunities and then apply basically to volunteer.
Yep, or you can email vrs@redcross.ca, and that's our volunteer resource department, and they will make sure they steer you to the right opportunity, and they'll send it right to my email. And then it's always good to have a face-to-face with individuals so that you can kind of see what they want out of the volunteer opportunity and help place them in the position that's best suited for them.
So they can either do almost as little volunteering or
Yep.
a lot, basically based on what the individual's
Yes, exactly.
desire is to volunteer.
Yep.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you very much, Jenny, for having us here at the Red Cross in Sault Ste. Marie, the Canadian Red Cross. And again, I would encourage the viewer to go to the website. There's a wealth of information and opportunities available to volunteer and to find out more about the Red Cross, which is a critical organization in our community,
Yes.
serving the community of Sault Ste. Marie and beyond.
Absolutely. Yep.
Fantastic. Jenny McDonald, Emergency Management Coordinator and Superhero for the Canadian Red Cross. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank you.